What's up, family? Welcome back to my channel. It's Mama Lola, and I'm back at it again with another banger. Bam, 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 bam. In this video, we're going to be making my favorite comfort food. Well, one of my favorite comfort foods. And that's salmon cook-up, tinned salmon with ackee and callaloo, and some fried dumpling on the side. Yes, Lord. If you never had this, it's a quick and easy meal, and it's very filling and satisfying. It's like, I don't know, sometimes I'll be feeling like I'm starving or I'm deprived of nutrients, and I eat this meal and I just come back to life, for real, for real. This is the meal, if you follow me on Instagram, I always talk about this meal, and I say that this is a meal you cook a man and that man will end up marrying you. It's a very simple meal, but it's just so good. And if you're not from the Caribbean or you're not used to this type of meal, you may look at it like, this looks like a whole bunch of slop. But when you eat it, when you taste it, you're going to be like, wow, god damn, this is some good food. This is some good eating. Yep, this is an easy meal that'll make that man marry you, girl. Don't knock it till you try it. So my favorite tin fish to use is salmon, but you could use any type of tin fish. You could use fresh fish if you want to. You could use tuna. You could use, mackerel. I do not like tin mackerel. It's too salty for me. I don't really like salty food. It's just too salty and gamey and fishy for me. I don't like mackerel, but I know a lot of Caribbean people that do. My favorite to use is salmon every time. You could also use bacalito. What is saltfish? Ackee and saltfish. So bacalao is saltfish. You could use saltfish. And again, that's not one of my favorite fishes to use, to be honest. But this dish is very versatile. You could add whatever vegetables you want to add to it as well. I'm just keeping it simple with some onion, pepper, green onion, thyme, and then the ackee and the callaloo. That ackee and that callaloo was in my freezer. They're both from cans. I used half of the cans in the last time I made this, and then I just froze the other half so that it'd be good next time I wanted to use it, and now is that time. But yeah, you could add any type of seasoning you want to this, any type of vegetable you want to this. You know, it's very versatile. You could remix it however you like. It's just a cook-up. It's a little different from a rundown. I think the difference between a cook-up and a rundown is just the coconut milk. If you wanted to make a rundown, you would essentially make the same meal and you just add coconut milk. But a cook-up doesn't have that. So the first time I remember, as far as back as I could remember, the first time I ate canned meat, it was bully beef or corned beef hash. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That corned beef hash that come in a can. Ugh, that shit used to make me want vomit. I hated it so bad. So my mother's side is Caribbean. There's Jamaicans and Caymanians and a little bit of Cuban mixed in there. And then my father's side, they're Dominican, straight up. So there's also a little Haitian mixed in there, but don't let my grandfather know that, because, you know, we not black. But, you know, that generational racism gotta come in somehow, some way. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so growing up, I used to spend a lot of time on my mother's side at my grandfather's house. He lived in Brooklyn, God rest his soul, on East 53rd Street. And we were always there. Like, that was the spot. Like, yeah, we're going to 53rd this weekend. You feel me? So when I would go there, my uncle was a designated chef. And he would cook up a yardie breakfast, a Jamaican breakfast, which consisted of fried dumplings. Sometimes they were stuffed with cheese, bully beef, and boiled eggs. And let me tell you, the bully beef that he used to make me want to vomit. For real. I used to think it was dog food because he would make it very sloppy, very wet, and he would cut these big-ass, thick-ass onions, chunks of onions, all into the bully beef. And sometimes he'd add barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce did not make it better. So one of my childhood memories, and maybe, you know, one of my childhood traumas was, you know, eating that breakfast every weekend and not being able to leave the table because I would not eat the bully beef. And I would cry something awful like, why are you making me eat this? I don't want to eat this. Like he was so strict, and he honestly intimidated me a lot. I never really liked him. I never really favored him because he scared me. And he would always make me sit at the table. Like I tell you, it'd be like 9, 10 cousins deep. They'd all eat the egg, the bully beef, the dumpling, and leave me behind. And they would go play their games and go outside and return to their regular scheduled activities. And I'd just be sitting at the fucking table crying my eyes out because I don't want to eat this motherfucking dog food. Whew. So yeah, that was my first encounters with canned meat. I really don't like bully beef. I don't own a can of bully beef in my house. I don't really fuck with that. But I will say this. When I was about 15 or 16, I was at that same house. And my aunt, my uncle's sister, cooked up some bully beef. But she did it a little different. She made it for lunch. And she cooked it up so that the sloppiness, it wasn't sloppy, it was dry. It was kind of dry like ground beef. And then she added some cabbage and she fried it up. And then she paired it with some white rice. What? That shit was so good. That shit was so good. Oh my God. It was like night and day. And I looked at my uncle and I said, yo, if you were making it like this whole time, I wouldn't have had a problem eating it from you. Yo, when I said that, I tell you that man got offended. That man got offended. And good for him. Because you forcing me to eat some nasty dog food. You could have just made it better. And we could have like saved ourselves a whole bunch of stress and trauma. For real, for real. But yeah, anyway. So nowadays I stick to the canned fish. Salmon is my favorite. This is a meal I make often. Like when I want something quick, like you know how certain people, when they want something quick, they'll cook up some spaghetti and meat sauce. This is my quick meal. Like, oh, I want something filling and something good, I'm gonna cook this up. Unfortunately, my son don't like it too much. So this is something I eat by myself. I really gotta like pick out everything. You know, kids be picky. I don't remember being a picky kid. Maybe I was. Well, look what I just said. I wasn't going to eat that bully beef. But you wouldn't eat it either. The way he made it was nasty. But, so, sometimes I just make this for myself. Because I'm the only one that likes it. So, it is what it is. So, yeah. So, when I'm making this meal, anytime I'm cooking something with rice, I always start off with rice. I cook rice first. So that I can put it on to the side and just steam it out. And then I proceed with whatever I'm making. So, I made the rice first. Excuse me. And then I'm making the salmon cook up. And you saw I cut up my vegetables. I fried them up in some oil. Added my malagueta, allspice. Added my fresh seasonings. Added the fish. You saw what I did, right? You saw what I did. I seasoned it up. I used some jerk seasoning. That dry jerk seasoning is bomb from Jamaican Choice. It's really bomb. It's a staple to have. You know, you could always use the wet seasoning, but I just stick to that dry seasoning for real, for real. And then I didn't have any Scotch bonnet pepper or habanero pepper, so I just used that 1 drop pepper sauce that came from, I think it came from the Bahamas. I forget where it came from. I got it as a gift. And then I'm just mixing my Johnny cake mix, putting it on the side to rest and rise. Adding my oil to my pot because we're going to fry these dumplings. That Johnny cake mix makes everything easier. And then I end up adding a little bit more flour to stretch it. And some flaxseed meal because fiber. All that is flour and dough. We need to add some fiber to it, you feel me? I would add pieces of cheese to the dumpling, but I don't really eat too much cheese. So, juice break. I already had my tea for the day, so now I'm just drinking one of my son's juice because I deserve it. And I just intermittently check on the cook up, just mix it up, make sure everything is well combined and incorporated. And I'll cover it back up. You see I'm using a plate as a pot top because that's how we do it, baby. We use what we got. I'm gonna make the best of what I got, honey. You feel me? So I'm just heating up the oil on the stove. I'm using vegetable and canola oil. I don't really like using those thick oils either because they make me break out. Speaking of that, I feel this a couple days ago. I already got a pimple around my mouth, and I know it's from the oil in the dumpling. But it is what it is, yo. Like, YOLO. Only live once. And then I just knead the dough into the desired size of the dumplings that I want. I think I made like 10 or 12, maybe, dumplings. And you can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. You can use this mix and just do boiled dumplings if you don't want to fry them. Boiled dumplings is bomb. I make boiled dumplings from scratch. I just need flour, cornmeal, and some salt and some water. You just knead the dough, and then you boil them down. I love that's another thing I like to eat with this meal. If I make some tin fish cook up, I'll boil some dumpling and have on the side instead of frying them. That's another way you could do it. If you don't want to fry it, you could boil it. Comes out just as good. It's just a different type of vibe, you know. But yeah, I love boiled dumpling, boiled plantain, like boiled roots, boiled yuca, cassava. Baby. Boiled roots with this cook up, or boiled roots with some curry chicken. Whew, delicious. So yeah, I'm just frying up my bakes. And then I put them on the side to drain. Yeah, I got about 12. Oh yeah, I was right on the money. I got 12. Rice, cook up, looking good, baby. Tastes better, promise you. Just plating my dish. Put a fork in it, it's done, baby. Some pear, some avocado would have went great with this meal, but I didn't have any. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta put that on my shopping list. And there is a final results. Look at that steam coming off that plate and that thyme sticking up like a candle. Yes, Lord. This was so good. Man, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for whatever's coming next. Bye-bye.